folks. So here we are. Sorry I'm a little bit late with the 3-week update. Monday would be the 3 weeks since the actual date of surgery. I am driving. I'm only driving because I have aggressively worked on a weaning process of getting off of the Valium and the Percocets by replacing things with Tylenol and halving out things and whatnot, and then just, you know, natural healing products. My wife's bought me different back braces. Certain TENS units I could tell you work, certain TENS units are garbage. Certain TENS units are garbage, but the companies that make them are really amazing companies and work with you. But bottom line, here's the backstory of my backstory. So July of 2010, July of 2012, I had been working for a auto and commercial glass company. Auto, commercial, and residential, like all kinds of glass, working as a glazier. I'd only been working there for a few months, so I was the low man on the totem pole, obviously. And I'd already heard, though, in those few months that the guy had taken work injuries and told people, hey, I'll just pay you, I'll just pay you while you're home. And it seems really intriguing, because who wants 60% of their wage when they can think about getting like a full paycheck, but you don't think about what the medical bills and then the long run could be. So anyways, we were doing this window job that was up like a couple flights of stairs with low ceilings and then down long halls and stuff. And I was with the guy that'd been there like 20 years. So I was the one that carried every piece of glass up and every piece of glass down. And these were units that were about as wide as me and just a little shorter than me. And it's 1/4 inch over 1/4 inch tempered glass in a 1-inch unit. So anybody that knows anything about glazing knows that's pretty heavy. So you got your cup on it, and you're dipping down through certain doorways, and you're dipping there and doing this and making all these, basically like you're doing some kind of weird new age dancing, but while holding a heavy amount of glass and using muscles in ways that they're not supposed to be used. The following morning, I woke up and I hit the ground, and for a month I never stood up. I cried while I used the toilet. I went to the ER. They gave me everything that they were allowed to give me, and it wasn't even taking the edge off. And all anybody would say is, because I didn't want to pay for an MRI, I guess. But all anybody would say is, well, it's just a pinched nerve. You got to let it live its course. Okay, cool. So a year later, I noticed that my left calf muscle looks like it's the size of my forearm, and my right calf muscle's looking normal. I'm like, well, what's up with that? That's bizarre. And I'm like, I wonder if that has anything to do with the nerve damage. So I went and I had an MRI done. No lie, because I went and saw an orthopedic surgeon, skeletal doctor. Went and saw an orthopedic surgeon. 9 days from getting the MRI, he did a double discectomy, double laminectomy on the L4, L5, L5, S1. But now immediately got my love because I felt like I was in my 20s again. I was probably, and here, this is you can get what you get from this story. I'm not going to point it out. I was probably shoveling snow a couple weeks afterwards, and in a great mood. And I was volunteering to do the neighbors while they weren't home, and like because I'm home recovering, but I'm like shoveling. I'm given this new spirit, and my wife and I get married 11 months later. And like roughly 11 months later on October 25th, and it was beautiful, and I felt amazing, she felt amazing, the whole last year it felt amazing, everything on our path, we were like, woo, everything's great, right? So I think about 7 days into our honeymoon on the island, we went out on, we walked to the other side of the island to watch the sunset, and we walked back, and it was like 5 miles, it turns out, in flip-flops. Don't do it. Don't do it no matter what shape you're in. It's not good for you. There's a reason why they make shoes with support. It's still a good night for our story's sake, though. Ask me about the raccoons, though. Anyways, I woke up the next day, and my left leg was rock solid, and no matter what I would do, stretching the toes, I couldn't, like bending, what you do, putting the foot on the curb and trying to pull it out, because it was like hamstring, calf muscle, everything was like rock. So we get home, and I'm like, Skip calling my primary care. I'm going to go straight back to my orthopedic surgeon. And as to be expected, because orthopedic surgeons, I mean, maybe not all of them, but they're kind of like your barber or most barbers. They're really friendly to you while you're paying them to cut your hair. But when you're the guy in the lobby, shut your mouth and wait your turn. Orthopedic surgeons seem like they get off on how quickly and how many of these micro laminectomy and micro discectomies they do. So here it is 11 months later. My wife and I were married successfully for like 7 days before welcome back pain. Oh, sweet pain. Anyways, then boom, here goes sympathy lady again. My wife turns into sympathy lady. But we come back, they do another MRI like immediately. What does this same doctor do? He removes more of the disc tissue that is herniated out. He said like that much was herniated into the canal that has the nerve endings or the nerves. And so like boop, it shut that off. And also like my butt area got numb and I was afraid I was gonna poo myself. It in my early 30s. And when I woke up from that surgery, I knew something was different, because the first surgery I woke up from and I was like, success. This surgery I woke up wishing I never woke up. And from that day forward is when I mentioned on the earlier video about I'd never kill myself, but it's from that day forward I kind of wished that semi truck's gonna hit me or whatever's gonna happen. At least let me not wake up. And since then, which was November 17th of 2014, since that day, married October 25th, surgery was November either 14th or 17th. I'm not really all that great with my memory anyways. But, so he does it again, and I've been in constant pain since then, and then that's what brought on like the being in a bad mood, the basically thinking everything in life sucks. And after a while, you're under so much pain that's what your life's defined by, is hurt. And this goes for emotions, this goes for everything, because I was bullied as a kid. I was like ugly and picked on, and I went to a different school every single year, and my mom moved a lot because she was single and taking care of 2 boys that were greedy, especially my brother. I think, he got more G.I. Joes than I ever got. But anyways, going back, each time I had these surgeries, the fraudulent boss, because he understood that I, one way or another, could get him in trouble, it kind of was my you can't fire me ticket. So I took it as my chance to pop off a lot, and my coworkers could tell you that. Like, I was the most outspoken person possible. But I'd get kicked out of meetings. And I'd be around the corner hearing him read like the customer reviews where they're like, John was amazing. John, what a amazing at his craft, this, that, the other. I used to be president of Lockheed Martin, and if I was still there, I would hire John on the spot. I mean, that kind of stuff. Well, anyways, this fraudulent guy pays me, and never pays any of my medical bills. And let's say $10,000 goes by, because I meet my deductible. The bummer of it is, and anybody who's done this too, I meet my deductible at the end of the year. I'm paying that deductible in getting bills the next year. So I never had the opportunity to be like, hey, cool, I met my deductible. I'm going to go get that shoulder looked at, or, have that doctor stick his finger in my bum for free or whatever. So obviously you could tell. I mean, look, I shaved, I dressed myself, I'm in good spirits. I do have a back brace on. I won't name any brands because I'm not sponsored by anyone, and I don't know if I could get in trouble, and I don't want to get sued. But I am I'm unable to lift things. I have to really watch my posture. I use the back brace, and of course, protection. I'm not gonna let somebody get the best of me just because I can't use some self-defense. No, hand-to-hand combat. But anyways, I won't tell you what that is either. But everyone's got their own preference, like mine's hammerless. So he pays me 40 hours a week, but not at the wage that I actually made. Like at this base wage. He was a real spreadsheet guy. We were all paid based on spreadsheets, and if you ever found an incorrection in your spreadsheet, he'd just give you a new spreadsheet rather than give you that 50 or 60 bucks or whatever, or 500 in some cases. So it created a lot of animosity. So the anger of someone getting $10,000 that was supposed to be, you know, me and my wife's next movement, because we were saving we didn't spend a penny. We still haven't spent a penny from our wedding. We've been married for 4 years. We've saved up a bunch of money that now is going towards, you know, being off of work and stuff. And you know, you carry that kind of hatred. And like you go into work thinking, wow, you know, I work for a man that not only gets to make millions a year off of what I do, but and doesn't get cut, but is also gonna scam me on the scam. Like, scam me on the scam. So we finally, like, I had it up to here, and he realized it, and he met me, and like we made an agreement, and the agreement was chump change. But he even shysted me out of $500 out of that agreement. Like, and it's just like it never ends, you know, like it never ends. But I finally got out of that toxic place. Here I am now. So from the November of 14 till now, I had the spinal fusion on November 5th. My wife and I's 8-year dating anniversary. And I'm practically pain-free. Naturals, natural supplements, the half of what they prescribed me, and I'm doing pretty sweet, man. Nothing but high hopes. Because also this isn't just like a great experience with my surgery, it's also like a spiritual experience. I suggest for anybody that ever has a really strong spiritual experience is buy yourself notebooks, calendars, journals, tape recorders, headphones, coffee cups, because you got a lot on your mind, and I got a lot on my mind right now. But my main thing on my mind is hoping that somebody gets to see this and see a 40-year-old man who as long as you're not in awful shape and take care of yourself and have respect for yourself in life, physically, that you can have surgeries and good outcomes when you go to the right kind of person. And I went to a neurosurgeon that I built a relationship with over some years. So on that, take it easy. By the way, something I'm learning here on YouTube, there's the little bell icon. Please subscribe and click on the icon. Thanks a lot. God bless everyone. Take care.